Matt's cramping. Lindy's like, yeah, go. And he's like, no, it's a cramp.
I'm making eye contact
No,
with the
I'm
brain.
not coming. It's a cramp.
This is about control, everybody knows, everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros, I don't need a plane, I just hit the road, I do what I want, I can't sell my soul, market about to crash, this is what you chose, ruining the country, I've been best to go, you gon' take the mark, I take narrow roads, I'm a man of God, I can never fold.
Here we go.
Exactly.
Everybody ready?
Ready.
All right. Welcome. I like that. All right. Welcome.
Keep it in.
Okay. Welcome to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where we talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and freedom. I'm your host, Matt Marchese, and this is my beautiful and lovely wife, Lindy. Welcome to the show, honey.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome. See how I did that? I switched that up. And joining us today, we have two of our friends, family, and also happen to be neighbors, Nick and Jen Boswell. Welcome to the show, folks.
What is going on?
Yes, we're so happy to have you. We appreciate you coming and joining us in our shenanigans.
Yeah, man. Happy to have. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
So,
of course. So
cool.
I'm working on not saying the F-bomb as often, and I almost just did it. So if you see me going and then stopping myself, it's because I'm on a mission here to say that word less. Anyway, before we get started, Ian, tell them what to do. Oh, you better turn your microphone on,
Wrong
son.
one. If you're enjoying the show, please smash that subscribe and like button. It's absolutely free, and it greatly helps out the channel. Thank you very much.
Well done. Smash that
Awesome.
that button, all the buttons, and share it and all that shit. And today, since Zach is not here, Zach's on vacation, so we have awesome stand-ins for him. You are a little bigger than Zach. He's not going to be super thrilled about that because he fancies himself as like an athlete and a fitness buff.
That's good.
Maybe we can like superimpose Zach's
Yeah, right
face.
The butt chin, just the butt chin.
Put the pit
Yes,
vipers on.
Yes, there you go. That'd be great. Anyway, I'm going to do Zach's job today. We are doing a bottle crack. It is a wild, actually, honey, hand me that box right behind you. A Wild Turkey Master's Keep 17 year. It's a very special bottle. It's delicious. Who would have thunk that thing was
Right
gonna-
out of the gate.
was well,
Don't hit the mic stand.
we're getting the bitch smack out early. Anyway, Wild Turkey Master's Keep, which is a super dope bottle. I'm really excited. I've never had this. It's pretty hard to find. And like I always tell you, every time we're doing shit, it brings us to the table. So I figured what a great episode here to do a new fresh bottle crack. The ladies are drinking wine. What are you guys drinking?
Yeah, it's just my favorite, Justin.
Oh,
Red
you're
wine.
drinking some red,
Yep.
some
yep.
Justin.
Justin.
I think that's
Gavin.
my favorite too. Boswell,
What's up?
you do the honors. Why don't you pour two of these things for us, would you?
Yes, I will.
While we chat. All right. So while you do the honors of pouring, I'm going to put these there, ladies. Sorry. Let's get started with an intro.
Let's do it.
So, I want to talk about. First of all, we should get it out there that you're a police officer.
I am.
the
you
best
serve-
one out there.
That's right. He is one of the. I think
One
I
of the good
actually
guys.
told a story about.
Oh my goodness, you have, yeah.
Yes.
This
heard
was the
one.
guy.
The
That's
Walmart
right.
story. That's me.
Shit.
We've
Yeah.
talked about you
Yeah.
twice on here.
Yeah.
Because you
Have
told
we?
that story twice.
Yep.
Well, I'm not gonna fucking tell it. Damn it! I said the F word
right.
that quick.
Fudge.
I'm not gonna.
One tally on the board.
Yeah, I'm keeping tallies. Well, I'm not going to tell it again, but this is the good energy cop
That's
that's
me.
leaving an impact on people all over the place. So one thing for sure I want to talk about is policing
Yeah.
in today's age. And then I'd like to hear your take on it as a spouse. Ian thought it would be a smart thing to do to maybe talk about. We've talked on the show about being dual military and
Yeah.
being married to a service member. Certainly, it's probably more challenging more often being married to a cop. So I want to hear.
100%.
It's only one of
Yeah.
us, though, right?
Yeah, but when you're a soldier, you're fighting battles in 6 months at a time increments or 1 year, depending on what branch. The Navy, they tend to do it in like 90 days, and then they think they take breaks in between their 90 days, right, Ian?
6 months long
Oh, okay.
deployments.
Oh, okay.
that was it.
And if you're in the Air
I know.
Force,
Hey,
there.
6
If you're in the Air
months.
Force, there's 6-day deployments, and if you're in the military, it's like 14 months or something. So, and if you're in the Marine Corps, I think they just live overseas. But for you,
Yeah.
you're in the fight every day.
It's interesting, man. I know policing's changed a lot. So I started in 2002, so like 21 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I didn't realize that either.
Wow.
Now, it was interesting because, I previously worked with City Papillion, and I was there almost a decade. And then I left temporarily because I had a couple of businesses that I focused on. And then when I sold those, I actually went back. And so I work with neighboring agency with City La Vista. But I will tell you, it's changed so much. Gosh.
How so?
In 20 years. Well, look, we're still, I would say, sheltered here in the middle. Is it hot?
It's hot and it's
Burn all the way down?
Wait till you taste the
Cheers.
crazy caramel. Holy shit. I am
Is
so
it
sorry
wild?
to interrupt that. It is wild.
Jesus, now you got them all off.
No, I
flustered.
like
I
it.
know.
I like
Turkey's
it.
going
It's
wild.
really good.
I did not mean to
No, I like it. I
hit
like
you
it.
with all those faces and disrupt your story. That is delicious.
hot and
like
smooth. I like it.
tobacco
That's
and
delicious.
vanilla.
Yeah.
He's a man who likes his whiskey.
It's flavorful.
Let me at
Yeah, it's
Try it.
bold.
You'll
Yeah,
probably
Ian,
like,
I'm gonna pour you. Damn it! I
It's gonna-
derailed your story.
It's gonna burn.
And you said the F-bomb. You're just messing up all over, man.
God dang it,
Some
man!
podcast host he is.
It's fudge. Right? It's good.
Holy crap!
It's good. It's good.
Dang.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. So
No, man.
get cracking.
Yeah. No. So, like I said, I think we're still pretty sheltered here in the Midwest.
Sure.
Compared to like the coast. But just like anything, that crap kind of moves its way in. And I think, when I first started, everybody was like, "Oh, you're a cop!" Like, dude, thank you. And you still have that a lot. And I'm thankful for being in the Midwest because we get it. But man, I feel we're fighting the media now, right? And it's a dual-edged sword, right? Because we have
course.
the media right here, but the overall media, and so social media has been an amazing tool to reach out to people and see cool stuff like what we talked about. When I
course.
had the opportunity to hang with your kids and all the time, right? When I see them or like at Walmart, those positive interactions. But man, at the same token, you see, just like any profession, I don't care if you're a school teacher, a garbage man, or what, you get one guy that goes and messes it up, and now
course.
one click of a button and it's all of us,
Poof.
right?
One
And
bad
so
apple,
It kind
it's-
of explodes it, and then everybody's, you drive down the street and you get the finger. My brother's like, "You should have been a fireman." That's what he does, right? He
Yeah.
goes, everybody waves at us and they love us.
Of course, they're still heroes.
Yeah, man, I should have been able to get lunch during the day,
Yeah.
make dinner.
No kidding. Yeah, that would have been a
No,
smart move.
But hey, it's good though, man. It's all what you make of it, and I think it's the people that you have on your department, so it's cool.
And the bad apple concept. So the bad apple spoils the bunch. So the term or the saying comes from putting one apple that is rotten into a basket of apples, and then that rot spreads. The problem is with social media, as you mentioned, and the media. The basket
Yeah,
is the world.
yeah, it is.
You can take one bad cop from Minnesota, and he will destroy the reputation
destroy.
of cops in Arizona
Everywhere.
or everywhere. Right.
Yeah.
That's the problem and that's the problem with all of it.
Yeah.
Is the basket that we're throwing
Yep.
all of this shit into spreads wildfire across the whole world in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, and I think it's sad, man, because at the end of the
course.
day, there's so much good stuff that goes on a daily basis, and you don't turn the news on 6 o'clock news and you go, "Oh, there's a positive community interaction that happens every single day a million times." And the one bad thing, it's always out there. I always laugh and I tell people, I go, "Man, if we were being graded like on OSHA standards, we'd be killing it, right?" Of
course.
Because I go, it's like one little bad experience.
OSHA standards.
Which is a nasty, a bad thing. You get a bad cop. But you know how many calls for service there are for all police departments on a daily basis? We're talking millions of calls, man.
Sure.
And I go, so when you look at that, I go, dude, you're knocking it out of the park if we were OSHA, but damn, we're not, you know?
Right.
And so it's that one thing, and that's what stands out, and we all get it. We get the rap.
And there's another thing, just a public perception of cops, even if it isn't a bad cop. You and I have talked recently about like Fourth Amendment and First Amendment auditors, where people just don't have any idea what a bad cop is,
Sure.
and they're saying that's a bad cop, and even the cop just doing the cop's job
Yeah.
can spread and get a bad reputation of being a bad cop. And then you look at it, you're like, well, he did everything he was supposed to do, and he was kind, he was respectful, he was helpful. You're just an asshole.
Yeah.
And there's a fine line between good cop
Yeah.
and bad cop, And then there's a fine line of people accusing a bad cop of being a bad cop and a good cop of being a bad cop.
You know what it is, man? I tell everybody that I train when it comes on the police department, I said, we get all this gear. We wear all this stuff. I wear like 25 pounds of gear, and you got a taser, you got a gun, you got a baton, you got pepper spray, all this different stuff. And I go, you know what the most important tool is they give you? They don't give it to you. It's communication.
Your voice.
It's your voice, man.
Yeah, of course.
So it's how you talk to people. And I go,
me
you know,
goosebumps.
for me, I look back, and when I was 19, I got stopped on a traffic stop, leaving the gym. I was following a buddy home, and I had just bought a brand new truck and had it was one of the first trucks that had the running lights, the daytime running lights that stayed on. I got stopped by a trooper, and he stopped me and he wrote me a ticket for that. But the guy was like, hey, you got these on? And I was like, hey, this is a brand new truck. I can't turn them off. And he was a complete asshole. And so he's giving me grief about it. And I'm like, had all my paperwork. I was like, hey, no problem, you know. And he comes back up and he's like, you know what I'd do if I was you, kid? He's like, I'd take a hammer and I'd knock those out. And that stuck with me, man, because I had planned on being a police officer. And I was like, I absolutely will never be that guy. Right. And so I think if you have a reason that most people on average, let's say maybe get contact with police like 1 to 3 times in their life.
Couple
you know?
times, yep.
Yeah. And it's usually traffic related or some type of an incident, or they're a reporting party on something. And I go, man, it's that one bad experience. And that's the one they remember.
Yep.
So I'm like, if you can like do anything you can to not give that experience, it's a respect game. You know, it's like, you want respect. I want respect. It's you give it, you get it back. Of
course.
So you just got to be
that's so
patient,
true.
man. Be able to talk to people.
So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is danger.
Yeah.
Doing dangerous shit a lot and often.
Yeah.
And you and I have again talked recently about, you know, how your blood pressure goes up when you get a call
As soon as you get
or right. And you're like,
Really?
oh shit,
Yeah.
here's me on that. And before I hear your perspective on that, I want to include your lovely wife, Jen. I want to hear what you think, because you know, we've been a part of separation. We've been a part of war.
Yeah.
We've been a part of some of that aspect. But again, ours was for 1 year, and we didn't have kids.
Right.
Neither of us were home alone.
Right.
And I want to know, because I know this is something that Lindy and I talk about you guys and others on the police force. How do you deal with that as a spouse, sending your husband out daily to, hey, good luck, I hope you come home?
Knowing how this country feels
Yeah.
about police right now.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, a hit home story from my perspective was when all that stuff was going down after the George Floyd stuff. And not to bring that up, but that
Sure.
really hits home for me, because you had started nights. We had just had Cannon.
Ooh.
We were in this house that we are up the street, and alone. And I was alone, right? With the baby, brand new baby, and a little guy. And I was like freaking out, right? Because if you guys remember, it was all over the news, and they had those riots going on downtown in the old
course.
market. Your jurisdiction wasn't technically assigned to that, but all jurisdictions were being
We went.
called
Yeah,
we
down
went
course.
downtown.
Right.
Yeah.
because of
All in.
the nature
I got
of what was going on.
Remember, I got deployed, but I had a couple of beers in me, so I couldn't go the first night. I was like,
Perfect.
jackpot.
Sorry, guys.
But I remember one of the nights when it was just getting kicked off, and I was scared. I was freaking out. I like took the kids. We went to his parents'
Yeah.
house in La
Oh,
Vista.
no shit.
Just
Wow.
because
Feel
I
you.
was so like I couldn't do it by myself, right? And I was
Yeah.
so thankful that they were there for a support system. But it's absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
And I think I would say like his department does an amazing job with community outreach and things like that to like get the community to support the police officers, but not everywhere does that, right? And you're not always
course.
going to be working with people in La Vista specific, and so it's scary. It is scary. But anyways, that time that was like the worst, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah,
I didn't
when-
sleep, and I was like constantly like on the scanner, like legit was on a scanner,
yeah.
just like
Listening
trying
to
to
the
get all the
calls.
updates and all the things that were going on.
Which
'cause
makes it
was
worse,
bad.
right?
It,
Of
course it
absolutely
does.
does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. The anxiety and everything's
Man.
amplified.
I think from my
Honestly, though.
side, I'm like, don't look at it. Don't look into what I'm doing. Just be at home, embrace the kids, because look, it's God's plan, right?
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
right.
And that's
so
your
I
stance
say,
on
hey,
it
I'm going to come
always.
home, and that's what's going to happen. I'm going to come home. So
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
what it is.
I think God might have had something to do with those first beers too. You never know.
Yeah. Right?
What that first night might
I
have
got
Everything
day
happens for a
2.
reason.
Yes.
I got day 2,
Right.
which
But,
you know.
but that night
interesting.
one may have
Yeah,
been
yeah,
something,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
How long have you two been married for?
So 6 years. We've been married together for 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Took
And they've
you
got
forever to
young
propose,
kids.
too.
Well, we did things backwards, right?
Yeah,
we
totally.
we got pregnant, we had a baby, we
Bought a
had a house and did a bunch of stuff, and then was like, "Hey, we probably should get married." And
Yeah.
I had to try to find my way to convince her
Fine.
multiple times. No, so twist her arm, right?
Non-traditional, but
We did some non-traditional shit too.
That's how we do everything.
Have you ever vacuumed the bed while your wife was in it to annoy her?
Well, there's a story about that for
Worse.
me, for sure.
No.
There's going to be a time for sure that my son Cash starts counting numbers on his fingers and goes, "Wait a second. I was born in November
Yeah.
and you guys got married in August."
Yeah,
And he's going to say, "Wait a second.
Yep.
Did you get
They'll
married
figure it
because
out."
of me?" And I'll be like, "No, son, there's a story, and you can check it out on episode 19 on the
yeah.
podcast. I told the fucking whole world about it."
We got a story.
Yeah,
Believe
don't
me.
worry about that. Yeah, it's kind of a public eye thing, and here's kind of like what you said about how to solve your issues and community outreach and what to do.
Sure.
And it's just being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go, surely you use honesty when policing, when communicating with somebody. Like, "Hey, man, here's the deal. I've got a job to do. This is what I'm doing. You're being an idiot."
Yep.
And it's pretty simple. And I know as far as we're concerned, we just try and stay on the side of right.
Yeah.
And I think if the cops do the same thing, can't really mess up.
It's it. And it's exactly how you just talked right there, right?
Yeah.
If you can do that when you're talking to people, when we have all these young guys, they're so robotic because they think they have to
Sure.
be like, "Oh, I'm officer." And I'm like, "No, man, just be like, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Hey, are you the one that called? What do we got going today, man?"
Yeah, sure.
And if you talk to people like that, it's like you can see the blood pressure go from here and it starts to drain. And then they're like,
Of
"Hey,
course.
they just want to be heard, tell their story, figure it out, and work through it."
Dude. So, as a cop,
Yeah.
I want to know a couple things. Primarily, I want to know how things have changed for you in your department
Yeah.
over the last. I don't want to go too far back because I want to keep it relevant to where our younger audience and even us, like we're so short-sighted in our memories anyway.
Sure.
Let's say 5 years. Drastic change or not?
Absolutely dressed.
Psychotic, drastic. Like,
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
much like the military,
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
imagine.
what are you?
That's drastic.
Yeah, and we talked about that just recently. Last episode,
Yeah.
we talked about the changes in the military and how, which is kind of where I was going with that into the kids' world of our military is unrecognizable from 20 years ago when we enlisted.
Absolutely.
Completely unrecognizable. And I say it all the time. That's why these careers in the armed forces are 20 years. Because you get to about year 15 and you see shit changing and you're like, this ain't how it's
Well,
supposed
yeah,
to be.
Think about it from 1982 to 2002 when we
Right.
enlisted from when we were born. Like it.
Yeah.
And those old heads that were, when they were sergeants
Back in
major,
my day.
right? And they would be like, "You guys are all soft, this
Yeah.
weak ass military. You guys are, blah, blah, blah." And now we're looking at it like,
are they still that way?
oh,
Like
yeah,
in the movies, like old school movies. That's.
oh, yeah.
I mean, they were. That's what it's like in the movies. Is it still that way?
No.
No,
I didn't
No.
figure. I didn't. Figure.
no, it's much
It's the
different.
Complete opposite.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And
now-
now, go ahead.
with the kids that are joining, we're like, good luck.
Yeah.
It's
adios.
a generational gap.
Of
you know?
course.
So
Is that what it is?
The
Or
word-
is it
1,000%. I think that even law enforcement, the generational gap in policing is so tremendous, right? Because like when I got hired, it was the old school mentality. You don't ask why, you do it because you were told.
Right.
And
Where did
now
that
it's
change?
why.
Exactly.
Well, no offense, but it's the millennial generation, right? It's,
Punk-ass
I'm so
millennials.
the entitled phase and
People's
everything.
feelings.
And yeah, and everybody's got feelings with stuff, and so a lot of that has changed. And so if you give a directive instead of being like, "Okay, yes, sir, I'll do that," it's tell me why. And a lot of the people, they don't even do it to be rude. It's because they want to know, and it's like curiosity. Where the way we were taught is you don't question it, you just do it.
And
It's
now
like
you have
follow
to give
direction.
them
and you have to
why.
break it down and make them understand. And look, I work with some tremendous people. I mean, one of the youngest guys in our department, I think he's 22. I'm like, my son's 20, my oldest boy. I'm like, come on. I'm like, you're like my son, dude.
Yeah.
And so it's funny because they're the era that can't talk to people. So I always laugh and I go,
Text,
man, it's
social.
almost like we got to issue you 2 phones to go on a call. Here, oh, you're the reporting party. Here's a phone. Why don't you stand here and we'll text each other because I can't look you in the eye and have a conversation. It's difficult for them. And so we tease each other and I'm like, hey man, here's your job today. When you go to the grocery store or the gas station to pick up your Monster that you're drinking, I go, I want you to talk with the clerk that's there and find one thing out about her or him and come back and tell me, because it's forcing them out of their box. It's super awkward for them. They can't have a conversation. Oh gosh,
Yeah,
I got
you
it.
do see
Here
that.
you
You
go.
know that's just going to make for a
So
dangerous
weird.
call.
And it is.
if they don't have that
Exactly.
communication.
And that's it, man. It all goes full circle because then you get somebody that's super aggressive on a call and they don't know how to de-escalate because they don't know how to handle conflict or they don't know how to be like, hey, whoa, slow down, brother. Tell me what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And so it makes it difficult. So you got to get them
So what caused
You know?
that gap necessarily? Like you could say-
technology.
Is that it?
Hell
Is
yeah.
that it across
Look,
the board?
D-
Or
Ask any kid right now if they went up and they asked their girlfriend, hey, will you be my girlfriend? No, it's via text or email or Snapchat or Twitter or
Or
whatever.
dating
Or a
apps.
dating
I mean, that's what they
app.
do.
Dating apps, yeah. So there's no communication. And so that's why you got to revert back. It's take it away from them, be like, hey, you got to go talk. You know,
Yeah.
So
I think it's also the entitled mentality. So just like an example of how the military is now.
Yeah.
So at boot camp, they literally have a card that they can raise.
Yeah.
So like if your drill instructor
Yeah,
is
too
breaking
rough.
in your ass,
Oh, I can't
you
take it.
raise the
Stress card.
card and the drill instructor has to stop
Yeah.
and give you a break.
come on.
Stress card.
Right?
I'm sorry. It's
So-
getting too tough for me. I need
Yeah,
a break.
And that is why, folks, China is laughing at us. The
sure.
whole world
Oh, of
is
course.
Well, yeah, even our own people are.
Of course.
It's crazy. You know?
Yeah, that's
But
what happens
By
when
design.
you
It's all
soft,
by design.
soft, right?
But-
It is.
I just, for me, I'm like, let's just get back to the alpha males.
So speaking of that toxic masculinity, no, speaking of that behavior and woke behaviors and woke policies,
Sure.
just wokeism,
Yeah.
infiltrating. And I've said this for years. I said the police are next.
Yeah.
They're going after the police.
Sure.
Because what I learned was, well, I learned the process. I
Yep.
learned the process of going from a surveillance state to a police state. And then I said, well, it isn't going to be our cops that are going door to door to get our guns because our cops are like,
No.
hell no.
No. Because
Not
we're the people
happening.
with guns too.
Right.
You ain't taking them away from me.
Exactly. These are all the
Good
2A
luck.
people.
Yeah.
No way I'm not giving up my
Yeah.
guns. So the cops aren't going to do it. And I said, who's going to do it? The military?
Yeah.
Military also are the ones that have their guns. And then I went, oh shit. They're going to convert. I saw what they were doing to the school board. I saw what they were doing in Hollywood. I saw what they were then doing to our medical staff.
For sure.
They're wiping us out.
Yes.
So my question is,
More sheep.
are they wiping the police force out and replacing us with sheep?
Yeah. Well, hey man, here's what I'll tell you. So in 2002, when I first tested, I was not picky. I was like, hey, I just want to get hired by a police department, right?
Yeah.
So I tested at a ton of different places. And I was like, first place that offers me is where I'm going to go. So I tested with one place and it was, I think, 6 different agencies all at once. It used to be called MAPA, right? And now
Okay.
it was an agency that would do all your written tests, your physical testing and everything. And then once you pass, they would send out all your information to the local agencies and then they would pick and choose. Hey,
Yeah.
this looks like a quality candidate. Start sending out packets. At the time that I tested, I think there was like 800 people that showed up in one day on a Saturday, and we tested. When I went with Omaha and I tested, there was 2,200, right? On an average testing place right now, you may get 5 to 35 people that show up. So when we're talking numbers, I'm like,
Well, they must do
holy
the
smokes.
job.
Literally percentages.
Yes, so it's so far down. And then when you what you have to remember is, let's say all 35 test and pass, right? Now you got to go through a background test, a medical test, a polygraph, a psychological, and a lot of these people are being disqualified. Oh, what do you mean? I couldn't smoke dope last week and then come test?
Well,
so
even the physical
they get
aspects.
washed out. And the
Physical
physical
test-
thing, I mean,
yeah.
People
it,
can't.
I feel like it's gotten way easier. And people
Still
can't
can't.
pass it, and I'm like, "Come on, man!
Yeah, lower
like,
the standards.
Yeah,
We
so-
get it. You're talking to 3 military recruiters.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we
So
know that.
Constantly
you
lowering
just
standards.
look and you show up and you see, and I'm like, really? Like
Yeah.
you can't, like a 5-foot wall. It's like up to my shoulders. You can't like put your hands on it and jump over it. Like can't do
Oh,
it.
man.
So it's interesting, man. The numbers have declined so much, and that's one of the biggest things I think that we see is just trying to get good people. And then when you do have that one candidate, and they did what I did, and you test for multiple agencies, it's like tug of war, man. It's like everybody's fighting for the same guy, and so it's
But that was
how can
back
we get him?
then.
How can we get him? You know?
Okay, not to interject there, but really quick, I just heard and you guys may know this, something in the talks of allowing illegal aliens to apply into the police departments and become sheriff
Interesting.
and I don't want to say the word infiltrate, that's not correct, but that's how conspiracy maybe, but getting inserted right into that level
To get their citizenship or something?
I would use the
Well-
word infiltrate, just so we're clear. I would use that
Okay,
word.
so
All right.
infiltrate, right, to further push what I quote unquote agenda that I think is happening, right, to
Of course.
get rid of people who are pro 2A, one,
Right.
right?
Of course.
Like get them in there and disarm people. So they're given
Exactly.
essentially illegal aliens arms for one. Our country is giving them arms to go surveil American citizens.
That's right.
They don't have the same belief systems that we do. Of
course not.
potentially not. Right. So they're allowed to apply for police officer, I think sheriff. I can't remember how high that went. But my thought, thinking of you guys, is like, let's say that passes and that's a go in certain states, cities, and it gets passed everywhere. What's to say that wouldn't happen with the military? And then what?
Right. And
As
and
you think of, right. So in my opinion, and I'm sorry, but
you're good.
2A, this is what keeps us
Free.
because you pull that's the only thing we have left. Let's just be honest.
That's right.
That's the only thing we have left is our Second Amendment. And once that's gone, we are literally conquered and we're done.
Fucked.
So
I'll say
Yeah.
I don't remember. I saw that on the news somewhere or something. Maybe it was social media, so I
God.
can't confirm. So I feel bad.
There's your problem. Don't
I
watch the
can't
news.
quote it.
Yeah.
I don't. You know that. We don't even have cable. But,
I know, we canceled
I saw
it,
it
man.
somewhere, and so I do want to follow up with that. But it's an interesting thought, right? Let's see that is accurate and that is able to get pushed through in certain city states. Then what?
Well,
Terrifying.
to strengthen, it is terrifying, and to strengthen your point, which I think it would be kind of a blanket point. What the intent is could be law-abiding, good-hearted, kind people that are blind to what's going on. Number one,
That.
and number two, they will just do whatever they are told and instructed to do, like sheep.
Yeah, an order taker.
An order taker.
Like a robot.
I, in the military, was told one day by a sergeant major, the highest rank on the enlisted side of the rank structure that you can make, an E9, that her job was to do what she is told. And I said, hold on. I'm sorry, Sergeant Major. I laughed, and I said, I immediately apologized for laughing. And I said, I want you to clarify this. Are you telling me that your job as a senior, the senior most leader, is to be the most obedient follower? You and I have an entirely different opinion on what leadership is.
Right.
Now, your job is to protect us.
Yeah.
Your job is to stand up for what is right. Your job is to make these decisions and stand by them, not do what you're told. But they're literally trying to replace the people that have free thought, the leaders that say, I'm not doing that, and I don't give a shit what I'm told because that is wrong,
Right.
with the people that just say, I just have to do what I'm told, or else I'll get in trouble. My job, they'll fire
Yeah,
me,
like
and that's what they're
whatever.
trying to do.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the times, like I said, these people they're just kind. they just want to
great
do
people.
right. Great
Yeah.
people.
And they
just
want to
have-
be in a better situation.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or the ultimate opportunists where they know they're doing wrong. They're willing to renegade them, go against their own beliefs to protect their own self in their best interest and put you in jail if that's what it takes. But either way, the end game is to get rid of all of the people.
Yeah.
This way, when it comes time for the full-blown police state,
Yep.
they have people that will come take our guns.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's interesting that people just don't think outside the box anymore,
know.
right? So think outside the box and just take a step back and be like, does this make sense? That's all I want people to do is just question things.
But they
Yeah.
won't until it
And-
directly impacts them and they can correlate it like directly.
That's
and that's
so
my
true.
opinion.
Yeah.
Right? Like if someone's knocking on your door, give me your gun, then it's real. But until then, this is just, you
Right.
guys are crazy.
Right.
Right.
Right?
They ever talk to the cops about a time where they would have to confiscate guns?
No, we've never talked about it.
Has
but
anyone that you know of in any departments ever talk about that internally?
not here in the Midwest.
No,
I
they're
know
not
of.
playing that game.
And again, I think, like I said, I think we're still super sheltered.
Try
from
that
lot of
in a small
garbage.
town still, yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Try that shit in a small town.
Exactly. Now, who knows? You're talking L.A., San Francisco, New York.
Right.
Where you
Oh,
got,
100%.
You got 10,000 officers, which is the size of a city. then of course, and then it's easier to slip that corruption in because you're just a number, right?
That's right.
When you're on a 40, 50 person department, or even like Omaha where you have 800 guys,
But
right?
I would be curious to know the percentage of how many people in 2002 as opposed to now for someone in Sacramento or San Francisco. Does anyone want to be a police officer there anymore?
Yeah.
Like, are they suffering?
Look, for us, where a lot of the candidates that we've been getting is lateral police officers from other agencies, and we've been getting them from Las Vegas, California,
Really?
and LA, some up north.
So the
all over.
good
And
cops
so,
from there are like,
they're
I'm not
leaving.
dealing with this
They're
shit.
leaving.
I'm out of here.
Yep.
I'm going to the Midwest.
And we like
That's
that
great.
because you're like, okay, we have a good officer
Except for
that's
the
thinking
Lincoln one.
outside the box, right? That wants to come and be appreciated here in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So
I got a perfect question. I'm glad, Linda, you brought it back into this. So what I'm hearing is when you first joined, you said roughly you'd get 1,000 to 2,200 applicants.
A lot.
Now you're saying 5 to 35. So all I'm envisioning is in the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have this massive turnover. Are we going to have enough people to police?
So great question, man. We're seeing a lot of it right now, I think. I mean, our department just alone, which smaller agency, we're about 45. We're seeing a ton of retirements or people retiring early and transitioning out just because they're fed up with, and we aren't even really faced with it here in the Midwest, right? So I can't even fathom what's going to happen when you get into a big city like New York or LA. Right. And every department, I'm telling you right now, every department across this country is absolutely short-staffed right now.
And it's only going to get worse.
And it's going to get worse because it's getting harder and harder. And it's not an easy process to go through. I mean, it's a time-consuming process to get somebody from A to Z and on the road and
How long
helping
is it?
the citizens. So
if you make it through everything,
Start
look,
to finish.
if you expedite it, we're talking 3 to 4 months, right? And so some of these processes you go through, and then you have to organize in these big cities. You got to get your civil service involved, and they have specific timelines. You got panel interviews, and then you have to deal with medical and polygraphs and all these other different aspects, the background packet, and that takes a process because let's say we're hiring somebody from New York. Well, somebody from our agency will fly out to New York. They're trying to cultivate references. They're trying to talk with
No
people,
kidding.
talk with other people that they've worked with. And so it's a process, man. So
I did
when you
not
start
know
looking at
that.
this, it's not like it's like, you're the man. I like you. You can
Hired.
start
Let's
Monday.
go, yeah.
So there's so much stuff that you have to, and then you start looking if they come from out of state. Not all the like. If you were in New York and you came to Nebraska, you have to do what's called reciprocity, which you have to get up to speed with Nebraska law. You have to test out, and they give you their blessing. Say, you're already a certified cop in another state, but you have to pass our standards.
Right.
And so, again, like, we're talking 4-week process for that. So you could get stuck out at the academy for 4 weeks going through a reciprocity. Then you have to sit on the road with us and go through maybe a 20-week field training program before we say, yep, you're good to be by yourself now and do it. So start to finish, we're talking at least from the day that we start the process to getting you on the road, we're talking a year, man.
If I knew this was happening to the police force 6 months, a year before it was going to happen, and I have buddies who knew 12, 14, 2 years before it was happening, it's hard for me to believe that this was an accident that they've done this.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's done on purpose.
You think
Divide us,
that was
right?
my question.
Divided we fall.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, they're trying to collapse this police force so they can usher in the military, which they have also destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, people retiring, I mean, almost mass mutiny level of exodus, people leaving the military at the end of their career. I mean, otherwise great soldiers and great leaders that had more left in the tank.
Yeah.
That otherwise said, you know what? I'm too old for this shit. I'm not dealing with this anymore. It's thankless at this point. I'm gone. I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, people get used to seeing crime, right? And
Yeah, of course.
we get indoctrinated into it. Oh, that's just normal. It happens every day. You know, it kind of goes back to the story that you were telling, how when Kaysen was like, oh, he's cool, Dad. He's not a racist, right?
Right.
And it's like, and we're talking, these are our kids. You're
Dude.
like, what?
How about that story?
So it's just one of those things where it just shows that I think it's the normalization of all of this division and hate and crime, when at the end of the day, man, just treat people like, it sounds cliche, right? How you want to be treated. Just be cool with people.
Right.
We wouldn't have any of this garbage as a
That's all it is.
problem.
Communication.
Yeah.
And just respect.
Sad.
Dude, I need you and the leaders in the military who understand what's happening, the leaders in the police forces, we need you guys to hang on.
Yeah, you have to.
We need you guys to hang. If you leave, and surely you can go make more money. You, like you said, you had businesses before. Your communication skills are better than 99% of the world. You can go out and run a high-level position at a mid-level company, no problem, tomorrow, and certainly make more money than you do today.
Yeah.
We're leaving this incredible role and the importance of it in the hands of
That kid that can't talk.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I want to
Fuck.
interject here because I'm super passionate about this point really quick.
I
yeah.
love it.
He knows how I feel. I think there's 0 individuals in this planet that are better at his job than he is.
Amen.
Here we go.
I can agree with that.
Multiple reasons.
Yeah.
Multiple, and I can list them. I won't, but I can. And I say this every day. So, like, when hot button COVID came up, right? I said, you're standing your guard. You're not doing the shot. Okay? Not doing it. And he was like, of course I'm not. And I'm like, but you have to be a leader and a role model to your people because every single one of them
Yes.
look up to you.
Yes.
Insane. And I go, they're going to look to you to see if you're going to do it or if you're going to cave, right? And they didn't have to do it. It was never mandated, thankfully. However, there were emails that came down
Of course.
encouraging it.
Yeah, it wasn't mandated, but it was mandated.
Yeah.
It was close.
encouraged.
Perfect analogy.
Right. And so I was like, where are we at? Are you drawing the line here? Because you have to draw the line here for multiple reasons, obvious reasons, but are you good with drawing the line here?
Yeah, it was
Like,
a line
we'll
in the
figure
sand.
it out.
Yeah.
But you got to draw the line here for future everything, right?
For everything.
You got to draw the line. He was like, I 100% am doing this. And I've never been
Yeah.
more proud of him in my life. But
Aw.
I know, sorry. But
I love that.
I just had to interject there because that's huge.
You guys are literally spitting images
Yeah.
of each other. Like,
Yeah.
you want to talk about
Why do you think
a
I want to
couple
say
that
that?
is
Right? Same exact
perfectly
situation.
fitting
Yeah.
of this show's message that we send out daily.
Yeah.
You guys could not have had better guests for tonight. So
think
thank
that's
you.
why we
You're
vibe.
welcome.
That's right.
You're
And-
welcome.
Thank you, Lindy.
And to kind of pivot into a different element, which I promised we would talk about, marriage. You guys also have, we've got, listen, I'm too old for this shit. I'm one of them. I just told Ian today, I don't have time for losers in my life. If you're a loser, if
Yeah.
you've got no drive,
Yeah.
if you don't have any will to go on to the next level,
Get out.
bye. Like,
Yeah.
do you?
Yeah.
And it doesn't affect me.
Yep.
I think you're wrong, and I think you're bad for a lot of. You're bad for yourself. You're bad for your family. You're
Yeah.
bad for the economy. You're bad for your community. Like, you're bad for all the things.
Yeah.
You're a bloodsucker. You're a loser. But most importantly, you're bad for me. I got to protect me and mine, and I don't have time for that. But kind of taking that to the next level, my wife and I are very particular about couples that we hang with
Sure.
and that we surround ourselves with, because I'm sure you know, everyone knows, the people around you can easily start to control your energy.
Everything.
And when you're with couples that fight and
Yeah.
that hate each other and that are bad for each other and that don't support each other and don't see eye to eye,
Yeah.
it makes my night miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on the flip side of that, when you're with people who support each other and champion each other's benefit and are there to pump each other up and say, hey, babe, you fucking got this. And hey, there's nobody better at your job than you. Things like that is what makes you two similar to what Lindy and I get all the time.
Yeah.
A power couple or an influence couple that people want to be like. And I think that's huge, especially in your line of work, but in the community, like showing that you can support your husband no matter how shitty it is,
Absolutely.
how hard the job is.
We have 4 boys.
Yeah.
And I think, like, moving forward, as Nick mentioned in discussions before we started this, but just always conversation, right? The alpha male. Like, and so always leading by example, always portraying what it should look like and supposed to look like. And of course, we're not perfect, right?
Nobody is.
We
Far
catch
from it.
ourselves. We catch ourselves all the
course.
time, and we're like, and like we recognize it and we're like, hey.
Let's fix this. Yeah.
Right?
Hey.
I get
We
that a lot.
recognize it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yep.
However, though, I mean, I think it's super important to what you're getting. I think it's super important that we,
Got to be a role model.
got to be a role
Yeah.
model for them, because I think today in society and everything we've already talked about is like super like our kids are sponge, right? They like absorb everything they see and hear, whether it's good, bad, or otherwise. They just do, and that's what they're supposed to do, right? That's how they learn. But like we want to be a role model in what they absorb and what they hear, what they learn, what they see, and hopefully, right, in their adult life they can replicate and be solid.
They're our future.
They're our future. Yep.
Yeah. Man.
Let's lead our country. Let's lead our house. Our house is what is number one. Let's get our house in order, right? So.
Absolutely. The way we met was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was going to say, we didn't just meet because we were neighbors, because we just moved to this neighborhood.
Yeah, we weren't even in the neighborhood when we knew you guys.
We met in a super awesome environment with our community at school board meetings, right?
Yep.
School board meetings where I got up and spoke, I think once or twice, and
multiple times.
She did too, and we connected, and then I found out that we were literally right down the street from each other, so we just kind of. That's where we connected.
And I met you at a freedom rally.
That's right. I was gonna say.
Well, like America up.
That's right. Listen,
with Ben Tapper.
Yeah.
If you guys have any question in our audience why these two individuals are, number one, our friends, and I consider them family, and especially such a short period of time, it is because they are stone cold freedom fighters.
That's it.
They are about their business and are willing to, no matter what, stand up for what they believe in, protect and serve, and just stand by what's right and be vocal about it. Earlier on the show, we talked, or before the show, we said, hey, what's kind of off limits? The answer is nothing's off limits. We're just here to tell the truth. Whatever it is, that's what we're going to do.
Yep.
And I truly believe exactly what you just described. It is our job as parents and community leaders. Everyone is a leader to somebody.
Right.
Everyone is a leader to somebody. If you're not, find somebody to be a leader to, because everyone needs a leader.
Sometimes you don't even know.
You have no
You're
idea.
A leader to somebody.
Of course.
You know. Yeah.
Sometimes we go to air a podcast and I'm like, not much value. Kind of, I don't know. We could scrap the episode. We could do another one. Ian is always our first viewer, as he calls himself. He makes the ultimate decision on whether or not he believes, and I take his decision.
I wear the pants in this relationship.
That's right. Hell yes.
Literally 100% of the time, I have taken Ian's advice.
Yeah.
You actually have. Honest, because you hate when I say 100%. So I was just.
But that's a fact.
No, you're right. You do.
To your point, never fails. I get a message from one person, two person, three people, four, whatever, that say, "Hey, man, I needed to hear what you said today."
Yep.
And I'm like, well, shit, what did I say?
I was about ready to trash that episode.
Yeah, I was going to scrap the episode because I thought we didn't bring enough value, and I don't want to put trash out.
Nah, man.
And you don't even know who you're helping.
Yep.
Today I had a coaching call with I've got a group of people, my employees, where once a month I get on, we do it online, where I try to add as much value as I can, and every single time, like clockwork, I sit there, I prepare, how am I going to add value to these people? And the feedback is overwhelming, and it is always that. It is always, man, I had no idea that you needed that today. I just thought I had to deliver something. So deliver your message. Stand up for what you believe in.
Yeah.
Protect your purpose. That's what it means.
Yep.
Man, it's because we have too many damn managers, right? It's really easy to manage a thing and not enough leaders. I think leadership is about the growth and development of other people. And that's what you're interested in, invested in. And if you care about other people and how to make them better, we are raising the bar for everybody.
And we need that now more than ever. In a time,
Absolutely.
in a time where people are caving to this crap, to this bullshit, because they're afraid that if they're an independent thinker, or if they go against the grain,
get chastised.
What you said about Nick in the COVID world.
Yeah, absolutely.
You and we did the same thing, where I ended up, people were asking me, why are you afraid to get the shot? First of all, I'm not afraid. I think it's dumb.
Right. It's not about being afraid.
It's not about being afraid. I've done scarier shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Way
Absolutely.
scarier.
It's about me being positioned to be able to say, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do to make me do it.
Yep.
You're literally going to have to strap me down and good luck, or I'm going to be dead before you do it. Don't bother trying to convince me. There is no convincing me. Why? Because if no other reason, I'm taking a stand so I can influence one person.
That's it.
One person. that says if he ain't doing it,
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
And it's hard for people, right? Because we have that belief, and I feel like it's easy for us. You know, I had left law enforcement for a short period, obviously, because I was dealing with my businesses.
Sure.
And I felt like I had let my guys down. And that was one of the biggest things that drove me back into it, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I'm going to get rid of my businesses because I felt like the world is imploding, right? Of
course.
And then these are my guys that are out there, and I'm supposed to be on the front line with them. You got the cup right there. It's the thin blue line, right?
Yeah.
And
Those
it's
are my
like,
guys.
man. So I go back into it, and then here we are, right into the first year. We're dealing with this bullshit with the COVID
And the world
stuff.
needs
And
you.
so I'm like,
The world
holy
needs you.
smokes, man!
People
Like,
like you.
here we are, right there, and I feel like the rug's about to get yanked out. Like it did for you,
Yeah.
you know, and,
That's
and
right.
that's
Absolutely.
difficult. But at the end of the day, man, you have to stand your ground because if we all just follow along, I mean, we're
What's the
screwed.
point?
Yeah,
What's the
it's
point?
just
We're done.
Right.
And
We
our
are.
kids
We're
are
done.
done. Like, they're the ones that are going to be impacted
That's right.
because
Absolutely.
everything is going to take 10 plus years before it trickles down. We're seeing it already here, and it's happening fast.
Well, it is.
Fast.
They are going to be impacted immensely.
Well, they are. Just
hands
think-
down.
So you guys know these two, super patriotic. They raise their kids that way.
Yep.
Even their kids made a comment. Hey,
Yeah.
he's not racist. He's
We're
not a
all
racist
susceptible,
cop.
Dude.
right? Yeah.
Do you think he's ever told his
Right.
kids cops are racist?
No, of course not.
But
Hell
because
no.
of social media,
Yeah.
Everything.
even their kids
Yeah.
got that idea that some cops are racist.
For sure.
You can't keep them in a bubble. And it's you know, I would be like, wow, I'm always curious on what our kids say when they're not
Yeah.
inside the home. Our neighborhood, right? Our kids are just running around, they're playing, and it's fantastic. And I love it, but I always value and appreciate when people give us feedback, no matter what it is,
Right.
because I'm
Absolutely.
always like, what do they say? What do they think when they're
Right.
not in our presence?
That's right.
Right. Like you can pull Case in here right now. He's 8 years old and he'll tell you exactly where we stand on every single issue, stance, no matter
Yep.
what. But what does he think for himself and what does he take in from outside sources when we're not around? Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether it's public school, playing baseball, football, playing Fortnite. I know, but they do it, right? Like whatever it might be, we can't bubble them. We can't
Right.
bubble wrap them. So it's like, what are they soaking in? Because you know they are.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's a phenomenal example.
You just got to have a louder voice than the everything else.
Absolutely.
It's like
Louder.
I said
Every
earlier, it's a
day.
tug of
More
war.
often.
It's a tug of war,
It's a-
like I said earlier.
Bingo.
Yep.
It's a tug of war with our
right.
kids.
We're trying to pull super hard, and
That's
people are
right.
pulling back. Right?
Pull
so
harder.
We got to get our
It's
groups
us-
together,
it's us
and we got to say,
two
let's all pull
against
together.
the fucking
Yeah.
world.
That's
Yep.
exactly right.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
Yep.
It's terrifying.
Yep. Yeah, it's your household. Get your household in order. And I know that's a cliche saying almost
Let's
anymore.
go.
It's
but
not though. You have
serious.
to.
Not,
You
it's
have
so
to live
true.
by that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You
There's
gotta
no
know
room
what's
for
going
error.
on.
It's your
None.
kids' future.
That's it.
That's
There
how you
isn't
have to
room
look
for
at it.
error.
We don't,
At
and
all.
there's no
Like
time.
No.
feelings.
We're
like,
out of time.
Oh my God, this person's no. There's no feelings.
Fuck your
Fuck your
feelings.
feelings is right.
Fuck your feelings.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out. All those things are applicable here.
Matt,
because
you
it's our
can't
kids'
say that.
future.
I can't say any of those things anymore. Fudge around and
Mama
find
Marchese,
out.
you have changed
Fuck
our
around
host.
and
Yes.
find
You
out,
got the
can
board
say.
here.
Yes.
Men here, mates here.
Listen, that's right. The fuck around. We did one of those. We did a fuck around and find out graph, but sorry, it's okay. I'm allowed 5 per episode. I think I'm only at 2.
Yeah, you're good. 3.
Don't worry about how much I'm at. Cut that part out. Just edit it out, and then nobody will care. We did sort of a fudge around and find out. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
With the douche awareness.
Yes.
It was fun. So check that out if you haven't. Ian, put a link in there or something.
Yeah.
You do it. Yeah.
the douchey
you know,
link.
Yeah, do the thing right here.
Douchey link.
The douche link. Yeah. There's another part to this, and we can be in our kid's ear in this tug of war all day long. And this is something that Lindy and I, I as I said today on my coaching call, I want to make sure everyone understands that there is no perfect, and there's got to be balance for sure. But we also, in this game of tug of war, have to do and show and lead by example. We can't just tell our kids, because when they get to be my kids' age, when they're 13,
Hate us.
they start to see our bullshit and then they hate us.
Yeah.
And then they resent us. And then they're like, oh, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
You say that you're going to not eat McDonald's, and then I see your ass shoving Taco
100%.
Bell down your face.
100%.
Or you say that you're going to, exercise, or you say that you're going to go to work every day, and then I see your ass on the couch every day.
Well,
It's only
then
a matter of
Their own
time.
person at that point too,
Right.
Like they understand and they get the world. Even Case, he's 8. same thing.
He's
Right.
very
They
smart.
already have it figured out. So
Of
it's like
course.
you got to really watch.
Well, they're sponges, right? We always say that.
Yes.
They sit back and they listen and they observe.
Mm-hmm.
they
And
really
you just
watch.
got to hope that the right stuff's coming back out.
Parents out there, it's only a matter of time before your kids find out that you're full of shit if you're not doing it.
Yep.
And that's what Lindy and I'm like, honey, no, we can't just say we're going to do
No,
this.
you can't be a fraud.
No, you can't be a fraud.
Yeah.
You've got to do it. Our employees,
Live it.
your young officers,
Yep.
you in the community will see you
Yeah.
as a fraud.
Yeah.
And now we're all in trouble. So as hard as it is to be perfect, I think on the piece of influencing our kids, the biggest thing we can do is our actions.
Yeah.
We take my kids out on walks with us. We take our kids to the gym with us. We take our kids anytime we can. We want to show them.
Yeah.
And it's almost a level of purpose that's provided for me, at least, where I'm going, I can't let my kids see me fall off.
Yeah.
I can't let my kids do this.
Yeah.
They know I was supposed to be doing this program.
They
And then they're like,
also-
oh, you're not on a diet anymore, Dad? I see you eating that cheeseburger.
Well, and
You
another
fucker.
thing, I don't know if this is your boys, but like ours, they're always like, Mom, Dad, like we don't want to go to the gym.
Of course.
Right? Because we're holding away from their stuff. So it's difficult.
Let's go.
However, it's how you spin it. That's how you make it fun for them. And it's not easy. Like
Mm-mm.
our boys
Yeah,
are
that's the
super
challenge.
stubborn, super like
Stubborn.
strong-willed. And it's a challenge every single day. But it's like, I think at the end of the day, you just keep persevering with it, right? They're going to see it. And
When
they're
you're
gonna look
instilling,
back.
that's a
They're gonna look
value you're
back.
instilling in them too.
Right.
Matt, let me run with something real quick.
They
So
do
the
it.
go.
gym, why I think it's important is this. So
I don't know if we
Bring
can
it.
take advice from you.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I
It's a
had
joke. For you audio listeners, Boswell is fucking
Jacked.
jacked.
And he's
Sitting
got a
across
shaved
the
head,
table
so
from
he
me.
looks even
All
more
right, go
jacked.
my
ahead.
head probably looks enormous.
Sorry to interrupt.
Really
ahead.
shiny.
Those sweet
Yeah,
headphones
right.
on.
No, I had an amazing conversation with my oldest son, Cade. Right, he's 20, and he's a second-year apprentice electrician. He's got his own place, doing his own thing, kicking ass. And about a year ago, we had a long conversation, and it started with the gym because he was talking about failures and things like that. And I love this conversation because he likes to work out too. And I said, all right, bro, so when you're in the gym, when you lift weights, what's your goal? Like when your rep range or whatever? And he's like, well, most people always say till failure. And I said, okay, cool. We're on the same path here. I said, now follow me. I said, what comes with failure in the gym? And he's like thinking, and he goes, growth. And I go, you just discovered life right there.
Boom.
Yeah.
I go, so don't be afraid to fail. Try things, do stuff, because I go, if you don't fail, you don't have growth. And so when he it was like the light bulb went off, and I was like, never got to worry about this one, right? So
That's
I
so
look
money.
and I go, there's 4, check the box on 1. And so I always revert back to the gym with the kids because I said, look, man, when you feel good and then you feel like you look good, I go, you're not happy when you're feeling good, right? You're always happy when you feel like shit.
Sure.
They're unhappy rather. And so it just kind of all comes full circle for us. So it's a lifestyle type thing. And I go, look, man, if you try to take pride in yourself, you feel good, everything comes with it.
Dude,
So
I am
true.
Yeah, so true.
3 days in the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I
We bitch because we're sore, but we never
Right.
regret going.
That's right. Yeah, always feel better.
so true. And there was a long little break that I took from the gym, but 3 days
Yeah.
back, I'm like, yes,
That's
I
what you
got
need.
it.
Nick always says that to people who are like just getting back in. Give me 3 days.
Yes.
Give me 3
Yeah,
days. 'Cause he
let's
used
go.
To,
feel better.
coach
You
people.
feel like you even look better. I know there's
Oh,
It's
100%.
true, though.
No, you
If
do.
you feel better,
It's
you
just
look
your
better.
Because it all
endorphins.
starts here. It's
That's right.
mentally,
That's
right?
right.
And when
You're
you're
more
mentally
confident.
there and
That's
you're
right.
feeling it,
I
right,
needed
then it
this
all
for
falls in
myself.
place.
I have been so consumed with the job because I just started a new job in April that I have literally given up working out. I've given up on myself.
Nah,
For
you didn't
the
give up.
kids.
Pause button, right?
Let's
for
go.
the kids because they're mad at me.
Time to go.
Because they're like, Mom, you're working so much. Mom, blah. And today I had like an epiphany moment and I was like, I know because I've had a lot of anxiety, right? As being a parent, as a working mom, as doing all the things. And I'm like, why am I so frustrated and upset and whatever, all the feelings.
Yep.
That's right.
And I said, because I need routine. So do kids.
Yep.
I need
Structure.
my routine, my structure. School starts next week here for us.
Thank God.
And I
Let's
said,
go.
I said, I will give y'all one more week and then you're going back to school, obviously. And I am doing me. I'm going to do me
Yes.
because I'm a better mom, a better wife, a better
That's
everybody.
right.
Well, you're also missing on the
when I can
dopamine
do
hit.
me.
Yes.
Right.
Those
Yes.
endorphins. You know, you
I gave
literally
up
feel
summer.
better
I
working
haven't
out.
been to the gym since April, right? Because I was like, oh, my kids don't want to go, and I kept
And your stress has gotten worse. Your anxiety has gotten worse.
Everything gets
Look,
worse.
man,
Million
it's the
times.
typical no excuses, right? We
Everything
all have
gets
them.
worse.
Everybody
Nick is
has
always
them.
like, no
Just
excuses
stop.
in our
It's
house. So
scary.
how I've fallen into this 3-month trap is beyond me, but I'm out.
Yeah.
Scary to get back into too.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is, it
yes.
is.
Going
It's
back
hard.
is
Oh, it's gonna hurt.
It's going to be in so much pain.
I don't want to sit down.
And I don't want to lift this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was this
Yes.
strong, and now there's no chance I could.
You know, here's a funny thing though. Everybody that goes into the gym, I don't care if you're day one or you're an advanced person.
Sure.
You're always consumed by what other people think. Nobody
Always.
gives
Nobody
a shit.
cares.
Anybody
Everyone's
cares.
in there to
Nobody
work on
cares.
themselves.
They're-
Think about it when you're there. Like, are you paying attention? Like,
Right.
Not
I
really.
always laugh because she always says, "You do you, boo."
Yeah.
That's my motto
And I
in
said, "Hey, who
life.
gives a
Yeah.
shit what anybody thinks? Just go do
Within
you,
reason.
right?"
Within reason, you do
Yeah.
you, boo.
Everybody's worried about their own suck in
Yeah.
the gym. They're not worried
Yeah.
about your
They're like,
suck.
I know. That's
Am
I love
are they
it for
looking
sure.
at me because I
Yes.
suck? Or are
If
they
I
looking
saw
at me
Nick
like,
in the gym lifting probably 500 or 600 pounds, I'd be like, whoa.
Well, it motivates you though. I mean, that's
don't.
when I go to the gym and I see people lifting heavy weight or even the opposite, people struggling
Yeah.
but not giving up. It motivates
Hell
me when I
yes.
reach that failure and I see this, someone of Nick and Matt's age still going, and I'm wanting to quit.
That's old, brother. That's old.
I'm like, well, fuck.
Nick
I'm.
and Matt's age.
It is. It's
I love it. I
It's
love
definitely
it.
dig. But
45
I'm like,
and
I
proud.
can't stop. I got to keep pushing.
Yeah.
No,
I
for
love
sure,
it.
for sure.
High five that guy.
So
we work out a lot together when we did prior to summer, which we just talked about today. We're getting back to next week. And we like to work out together, right, to motivate each other, to keep us
awesome.
accountable. And that's our jam. But I think too, like when we used to go, it's always like when you see these younger kids or whatever working out, we're both always like, do you want to go help them? Do you want to go help them? And it's awkward kind of, but it's like, let's like lift them up somehow, right? To keep
Yeah.
them motivated and keep them going. So
For sure.
anyway.
I love
And
that
these
you
are-
said.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I love that you said that you two work out together.
Yeah.
Lindy and Matt are the
Always.
biggest
Yeah.
preachers of doing stuff together. It makes your marriage better, makes your
Yeah.
relationship together. You go through those
Absolutely.
struggles and those walls, and you break through them together.
Yeah.
And there's nothing but positives of doing that together.
And for
Couldn't
you
agree more.
audio people, these are two incredibly fit people that are very committed to the gym, literally sitting here and very committed to their wellness,
Yeah.
their fitness, their lifestyle, that are openly admitting that they have fallen off. Kyle Kasperbauer, who was
Kasperbauer.
one of our very
Yeah.
early guests,
Stud.
he tells me, man, every year after the CrossFit Games, like competing at the highest level of fitness in the world,
Yep.
he would say every year after the games, I come home and I intentionally take, I think, a 2-week
Shut it
break
off.
where he shuts down and he eats like crap and he does all the things that he hasn't been doing while he's been in preparation mode. And he said, dude, I fall off.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want to go
A
back.
world
human.
champion
Yeah.
fell
We're
off.
human.
Yeah,
We're
literally
human,
world champion. But you know
right?
what? I think it's like that factory reset on your iPhone, right? You have to
Of
have it a little
course.
bit, and it resets the
That's right.
sanity, and then you just get back
Resets
on,
everything.
right?
I mean,
Also-
everybody needs it.
I was going to say, not just in fitness, but the boys also see your peaks and valleys
Yeah.
too, with your business, with
It's
every
healthy.
single thing in your life.
Right.
You make sure to not hide it,
Mm-hmm.
and
No.
that helps them out tremendously.
Yeah.
Authenticity.
Because they right.
Right.
Honesty.
They see
Because
it
life's
real.
not perfect.
I always, when I'm
Right.
coaching people or when I'm telling people, like I'm preaching the gym. Funny you use the gym as a life metaphor.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the best, definitely my favorite.
Yep.
Because in life as a whole, growth comes from pain, comes from struggle, comes from
No pain,
hard.
no gain.
Right? No pain, no gain.
That's right.
It's a perfect metaphor of life. And if you can understand that if you want to grow, doing hard shit and just accepting defeat and accepting failure is the pathway to growth.
Yeah.
If you can't understand that, using the gym metaphor allows you easily to understand how do you grow?
Yeah.
How do you get to a higher level? You do shit you've never done before. You take risks, you accept challenges, and you do hard shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to lift 287 pounds, or I'm going to lift 487 pounds on a deadlift, and I've never done it. Well, to set your sights on that, well, how do you get to that?
Sure.
You're going to have to do a whole lot of hard shit and be sore and be in pain and do shit, show discipline, shit that you don't want to do
Yeah.
every day.
But that's a good skill for kids. Right. I just immediately thought of like,
Yeah.
it's because that's hard stuff.
Of course.
Right. As they're going through sports or whatever it is that they're going through, like practice makes perfect. We always say, but like cliche, but like literally, like you have to like conquer those small goals to get to the big goal, but it's hard work.
Another
Can't give up.
metaphor that I rarely use in that same thing to show our kids, we fall off. We fucking fall down.
Yes. And it goes back to exactly what I said, right? You have to have failure to have growth.
Yeah.
Right?
Have to.
If you're a baseball person, you look at the guy, it goes into the Baseball Hall of Fame for hitting that hits 300, right? That means
300.
Out of 10 at-bats, he got 3 hits. He failed 7 times.
Right.
And I go, if you can comprehend, hey, you're going to fail, you're going to have growth from it.
That's
and you're
super
going to kick
hard
ass.
though. If we're
So,
talking about
Of course.
kids'
Yeah.
level of
you have
understanding,
to embrace that. So I don't know.
Hard
man.
to teach,
It's-
but
again,
yes.
it's being mentally tough and
I-
teaching. And I think we always say the kids, right? And you teach them that.
Just to add context to what he's saying, quote from Michael Jordan: "I missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed."
Have you guys seen that new movie he put
that's
out?
That's solid.
Or has somebody put out about him?
Oh, on
No.
Netflix.
Yeah, no, you
it's
have.
awesome. Yeah.
Was it a documentary
I
or something?
Yeah, it's a
Nice.
documentary.
You
I
talking
haven't
about
watched
LeBron
it.
James?
No, Michael
No.
Jordan.
Michael.
No.
We don't.
No, stop.
We don't
No.
subscribe.
Joke.
Get out of here.
I
We don't
did.
talk about Bruno.
Well, LeBron James say no, you do not. Okay, no, Michael Jackson, Mike Jordan.
Michael Jackson.
I have
That's
one
so good.
son. I'm
Beat
sorry,
it.
one son, Michael Jordan.
Beat it. Right on
One son
cue.
about Michael Jordan. One son about Michael Jackson because he's scared of the Thriller video. So very tough.
Oh,
time.
so was I. I was traumatized by this Thriller
Terrifying
video.
as a
It
kid.
was awful.
He's trying to make Cannon watch it.
Most
He's
kids
so
are scared of
it.
Michael Jackson.
Oh my god, that is
Yeah.
so
Just
funny.
scared of him, period.
I was scared of Michael Jackson and didn't even know why at the time.
I mean, fair.
Now I get it.
Yeah,
That's why
right.
he was so terrifying.
We talk about this
Yes.
in sports and stuff, but I also just told you today because of everything that's going on with your companies and
Yeah.
everything, and I was like, well, you always preach to your people that in order to grow, you have peaks and valleys,
Yeah.
and we're in a valley right now.
Yeah.
Well, I won't go into why, but like that is that's why we're gonna grow right now because
Yep.
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
you learn
Yeah.
so much
because
from
you come
it.
out of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
we come out of it stronger. And I'm thank you for reminding me of that because I haven't mentioned that in this valley to my team, and I haven't gotten to that point of focusing on it yet with my team. But oftentimes, I mean, in business and in life and in work and in fitness and in parenting and in marriage and in friendships and in video podcasting
All
and
of life.
in all of the things. It isn't just some uphill
No.
rocket shot. Get
Never
the hell
is.
out of here.
No.
It's always this on your way
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And the ones that are the most challenging, the dips,
Yep.
are the ones that have the highest peaks at the end of it. And you're right. I always tell my team, at the end of this, we're going to be stronger.
Yep.
We're going to have a stronger bond. We're going to have a stronger respect for each other and our business and what's going on. And I'm so happy that you guys came on again, being two fitness people, came on in like a fitness rut because I think it's so fitting to show like people fall off.
We're human, man.
Yeah, we're human.
We're human.
And for me, I tout that I'm this big bad businessman and I'm in a business rut.
Yeah.
I'm in a valley.
Right.
So watch how we come out of this.
Absolutely.
And Matt, I know, just knowing you feed off of vibes. This podcast is meant to happen right now.
Oh yeah, these
You know
are
what I
good
mean?
people. They always, dude, the Boswells always bring good
But
energy.
here's the
to
thing,
that.
Matt. I know you, and I know that with your people, I guarantee you're calm and collected. But just like a duck, baby, you feed her paddle 100 miles an hour
Fast.
underwater. Fast
Yeah.
as hell.
Look
you
smooth
know?
on top,
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
just to get you
Look smooth
going
on
up,
top.
right? Because once you get going, then you roll.
That's
So
right.
It's
You too,
we
man.
all
It's a
come out
matter
of it,
of time.
brother.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then it goes
It
and
is.
goes and goes and goes, and it's amazing.
You two are excellent stewards of America first behavior, community involvement in your career, obviously, but outside of your careers, we have watched you two be leaders in our community, to your families and your friends, and including us.
Sure.
I think you set the example, and of my belief, which everyone really knows at this point, is
That's the
that
most important.
yes, everyone knows mine. I hate to repeat them. But I think communities and friendships and setting and leading by example right now to truly save America. We can't do it at this level because they're doing it at this level.
Yep.
We only have the ability to do it at our level. And I think you guys using your voice, using your behaviors and leading by example from our children, school boards, setting the example with a good positive marriage, supporting each other. I can go on and on and on about the things you guys do, and I'm super thankful and grateful that you came on the show. I can talk to you guys. I've got about 10 more topics, but in effort to save our viewers time and to make sure that you come back on and talk. Yeah, you committing to coming
Sure,
back on?
I'd love to.
All right, hopefully you don't lose your job for coming on our show.
Oh God!
And
now you're gonna have to commitment job, which would be
I know. Listen,
awesome.
I already told you though.
We're starting a new business, Matt.
That's right. If all else fails, I got a spot for you.
Matt,
for
before
sure.
you-
You too.
Are you wrapping it?
I'm gonna wrap it.
Here, before you wrap it, I just want to say something to you, Nick, and this also goes to you, Jen, too. I know I speak for our audience as well. I want to thank you for the job that you do, and thank you for being the spouse and supporting him.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't just steal your thunder, Matt.
You're fine.
I know that's not said enough, or maybe I'm assuming that it's not said enough, but even if it is, thank you. I know this job daily gets tougher and tougher, especially with how police in general are portrayed by the media. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being a leader. Especially, I love the example that you gave of teaching the young cop how to talk to people, because that is what we need. We need, because inexperienced cops can also be where it gets dangerous, and we need people like you to be leaders and show this younger generation to keep doing this job and how to do it properly. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for being there as a spouse and supporting him. And you guys are a dynamic team, and I absolutely love you guys. So
Thanks,
thank you.
man. I appreciate it. Thank
Man.
for having
You
us
would.
today.
I was gonna say a lot of that shit, and I don't need to say it anymore. Thank you for
Matt.
being a community
Thanks,
leader
Sam.
and leading the charge in our community to make
so
sure
grateful.
the schools don't fuck with our kids and they don't try and inject test drugs into them and drawing a hard line and taking a hard stand for what is right and what you believe in. I appreciate you guys, and I love you so much.
Thanks for having us
Dude,
on, brother.
I'm so excited.
This is
Amazing show.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you all. To our audience, again, do what they're doing. Raise good kids and be good neighbors and do what the hell you say you're going to do. And if you fall off, it's okay. If you learned anything from this show, growth comes from the dips.
Yep.
And man, I can't wait till the next time we have you on. I'm going to be prepared for the next one, though, with topics and shit, so it's not all across the
It's all
board.
good, right?
But anyway, thank you all for coming. I think you
This is
did great,
amazing.
too.
Yeah, Matt,
We can roll
please,
with it.
please don't prepare, because what we did today
Right.
was amazing.
I think you
it was
did
good.
awesome.
I did?
Amazing.
Yeah.
What the hell did I
It was
do?
good, man.
It's my favorite.
Listen,
This
like
was
it.
good.
I'm going to wrap this damn show. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you, and I love you very much.
Love you.
And to our audience, Ian, great job today. And to our audience, I appreciate your love and support. Make sure you like and subscribe. And smash that subscribe button. Do all the shit that Ian says we're supposed to do. And as always, find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose, people. Peace.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.